Avoid this question, so I'm just giving you a quick snapshot. But what's important here are the tool categories. When you are considering and when you are having problems collaborating, tools are your friend in a distributed environment. That's one of the areas that took us a while to figure out in terms of distributed Agile, because we keep an Agile mindset, we follow the Agile manifesto, and tools were not necessarily first-class citizen in our Agile process. So we find that in distributed environments, we absolutely need to be very tool-centric. And you need to have at least one of the, in each of these categories. You need to be able to have some tool that facilitates your events and your activity. Fun Retro is very popular. Small tool, very lightweight, no commission, by the way, just some of my favorite and one of the ones that I observed that are being used frequently. Fun Retro, because retrospectives tend to be one of the areas where distributed teams are challenged, how to keep those enticing retrospectives when you're distributed. Tasty Cupcakes gives you ideas on running some of these events and retrospectives in a way that you don't need to use an actual tool, but what are some different perspectives to engage the team. Pointing Poker, free, very good for story or estimating, and games storming, again, just giving you something to add to your arsenal of tools to keep the teams engaged. Unified communication, I think that goes without saying. Many of you now, it's hard to hide from our mobile phones, but having the ability to walk away and still be accessible to the team has become essential. Of course, that has the burnout factor, so be careful. That's where team agreements come in. How do I and when do I prefer to be contacted? But having the ability to contact anyone in different environments is key. Project planning, we all love Jira. Rally, great tools. Version 1, Trello. Don't need to go into those. I think you're covered in that. But then your product pipeline, GitHub. If you're dealing with software, you might be dealing with other types of product development. But in the software arena, it's very important to have some of these pipelines. Microsoft Azure Devops is becoming more and more common. I am seeing it across organizations as I go in, also for the project planning and tracking aspect of it. So combining those two into one. Web conferencing, we're in Zoom right now. There's Teams, there's Amazon, there's Chime, GoToMeeting, RingCentral. Again, I mentioned that some of the key elements that are missing from the other ones are things like breakout rooms. Webex does have breakout rooms, the others not so much. In fact, as we speak, Teams, Microsoft Teams, is in the process of launching their breakout rooms. So soon, for those of you that are using Teams and are locked into Teams, you'll be able to use the breakout room feature. It's slated to come out mid-October, which I would expect it's any time now. Knowledge sharing. Some of you mentioned information radiators and transparency. It's key that you have some form of wiki, quick way of developing information radiators, whether it be Confluence, whether it be Microsoft SharePoint, whether it be Google Docs or anything else that allows the team to essentially post items that the rest of the organization can see. And then on the instant messaging, I don't think we need to go into those. Collaboration whiteboard. This is the new boom in tools, right? The real-time whiteboarding. One of you volunteered Mural before, not to be confused with Miro. They are two completely different products. They do very, very similar things. I find that they have both have their strengths and weaknesses. There's also some more economical alternatives. Microsoft Whiteboard is something that is available to you if you're using a Windows system and also on your mobile device. But the whiteboarding tools, critical for brainstorming. It's a must. Make sure that you look into these if you haven't already adopted one. Okay. And I see that some of you already started volunteering some of the tools that you use, right? But let me put here your favorite tools. And please start sharing some of those so that the rest of us can see what we're using across the board and maybe some of the best of breed based on popularity. Right? Slack for instant messaging. Yeah, huge. Also for being able to bring the teams together into a community, and it does have real-time phone communication and unified communication capabilities, file sharing as well. Skype, some of you are using Skype. Skype is not as common anymore. Teams is sort of taking that on, but glad to see you're using that. Lucid Chart for, again, whiteboarding and sticky treatment and being able to do some collaborative design and brainstorming. Webex. Not Miro, someone wrote. Apparently there's a little bit of an adversity to Miro there, and I can understand that. If you don't like Miro's interface, consider Mural. It's a little more focused, and sometimes it's a matter of preference. Menti for surveys. Yes, Menti is great. It has a cloud, word cloud that allows you to sort of surface things to the top. I like that as well. And then Teams for unified communication, and of course, Zoom here. Excellent, excellent. Very good. Someone say that Teams is a little too, it's very useful, but a little too heavy. And I could see that, right?